Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to take a whole stack of information and, well, make sense of it for you. Today, we're plunging into something that affects all of us every single day, really. Waste. Did you know the average person in like a high-income country generates over 2 kilos of trash every day?
Yeah, it's pretty striking. That's almost 5 times what someone in Nigeria produces, for instance.
Exactly. So today we're going beyond just, recycling. We're exploring this really profound concept called zero waste.
Hmm,
And it's more than a trend. It feels like a fundamental shift in thinking, in habits to tackle that reality.
absolutely. And for this deep dive, we've pulled together a really interesting mix of sources. We got practical guides for sustainable living. We've got personal stories from people who've done these challenges, and some really insightful global analyses on waste. So our mission today is really to unpack what a zero waste challenge actually means, why it matters so much, and maybe most importantly, how anyone can start this journey.
Right. And this isn't about achieving perfection overnight, is it? That's key. The goal isn't to make you feel guilty about what's in your bin right now. Instead, we're looking at actionable steps, some surprising facts, and, what we can learn from people all over the world who are trying this out, often imperfectly.
Definitely. At its heart, sustainable living is about aiming for the lowest possible environmental impact. Think of it as consciously choosing things that are eco-friendly or embracing green living actions that minimize our footprint.
Okay, let's break that down. When we say zero waste, I think a lot of people jump straight to the recycling bin, but it's bigger than that, right?
Mm.
What's the core idea?
That's a great point. Because you're right, it's not just about the end-of-life stage. Zero waste is often described as a movement focused on waste prevention. It's about designing products and systems to eliminate wasted resources right from the start.
Oh,
And you hit on something crucial. It's not about producing absolutely zero waste. That's, well, pretty much impossible in our current world. It's more about reducing and reusing as much as you possibly can to really minimize your impact and
mhm.
push toward the system where waste is seen as a resource.
So it's a mindset shift from the very beginning of a product's life, not just the end.
Precisely.
Right.
And there's a really helpful framework to guide this, often called the 5 Rs. These aren't just buzzwords. They show a kind of hierarchy for how we should approach stuff.
Yeah.
It goes refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot.
Okay, walk us through those. Refuse is first.
Yeah, refuse is number one, and arguably the most impactful. It's about saying no to things you don't actually need. Think single-use plastics, junk mail, freebies you won't use, excessive packaging, just stopping it from entering your home.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Then reduce.
Reduce is next. Buying only what you genuinely need, choosing things with less packaging or, opting for quality items that will last longer instead of cheap stuff that breaks. Then comes reuse. This is where you swap disposables for reusables. Your cloth bags, a good water bottle, maybe glass containers for leftovers instead of cling film, that sort of thing.
Got it. So recycle is number 4. That's surprising.
It is, and it's so important to highlight that. We've been kind of trained to think recycling is the ultimate green action.
Right. Like, I recycled, I did my bit.
Exactly. But the real power lies higher up, in refusing and reducing. Those force a bigger change in our consumption. Recycling is really a last resort after you've tried to repair something or repurpose it or maybe donate it. And always check your local rules because they vary a lot.
Okay, good point. And the last one, rot.
Rot, yeah. That's composting. Turning your organic waste food scraps, yard trimmings, back into valuable nutrients for the soil instead of letting it rot in landfill and produce methane, which is a potent greenhouse gas.
Wow. Okay. It really is a whole reprioritization of how we deal with, well, everything. So if it's about progress, not perfection, how do people actually start? What's this challenge thing?
Well, a lot of these initiatives are structured as, say, a 30-day challenge, sometimes 7 days, sometimes 31. The idea is pretty simple. You try to incorporate one new concept or change each day.
Ah, like bite-sized pieces.
Exactly. It makes it feel less overwhelming. It's an easy way to dip your toes into greener living, build some new habits, and just become more aware of your impact, one step at a time.
That brings us to the big why, doesn't it? Why bother with all this? What's the actual impact of our waste?
Oh, the impacts are huge, and they hit on multiple fronts. Environment, health. Get this. Roughly 42% of global greenhouse gas emissions come from just the production and use of goods. That includes food, products, packaging, the whole life cycle.
42%.
Yeah. So reducing, reusing, and recycling, especially reducing and reusing, can make a significant dent in those emissions.
And you mentioned that cradle-to-grave model earlier. That really paints a picture.
It does. Our current system is mostly linear. Take resources, make something, use it briefly, then throw it away, usually landfill or incineration.
Which isn't really a way.
Not at all. It's unsustainable. A zero-waste approach tries to make that system circular. It conserves resources and cuts pollution right from the design stage, ideally.
And the plastic problem is just inescapable, isn't it?
It really is. Over 400 million tons produced every year globally, and only about 9% gets recycled. 9%.
That's abysmal.
It is. The rest, landfills, incinerators, or, tragically, our oceans and environment, where it persists for hundreds of years.
And landfills themselves aren't harmless storage sites either.
Absolutely not. They release harmful gases like hydrogen sulfide, which is linked to respiratory issues, even lung cancer. And then there's the leachate, the liquid that seeps through the waste, carrying household chemicals, maybe prescription drugs, down into the groundwater.
Ugh.
Yeah. Studies have even linked living near landfills to higher rates of birth defects and low birth weight. It's a serious health concern. Puts the urgency into focus, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, but let's shift gears slightly because it's not all bad news. There are positive impacts too, right? Community benefits, economic ones.
Definitely. On the community side, zero-waste practices often promote social equity. Think about food rescue programs getting leftovers to shelters, or furniture banks helping refugees, or clothing drives for job seekers. It's about redistributing usable goods.
That makes sense. Building connections too.
Exactly. And things like community gardens for composting, tool libraries where you borrow instead of buy, repair cafes.
Yeah.
They build community skills and resilience. Plus, less pollution means healthier communities, overall cleaner air, water, soil.
And the economic side, you mentioned jobs.
Yeah, that's a big one. Moving towards a circular economy where waste is a resource actually creates jobs. Think about collection and processing of recyclables and compostables. Businesses based on renting or sharing items, repair shops. There's data from Ontario, Canada, for instance, showing that waste diversion programs create about 10 times more jobs than just landfilling or incinerating that same material.
10 times, that's significant.
It is. And it just makes financial sense, too. Reducing waste is fundamentally efficient.
Right.
It saves individuals money in the long run, buying less, reusing more. And it saves municipalities huge amounts. There's this concept, extended producer responsibility, where the companies making the products have to manage their end of life. That alone can save cities millions in collection and processing costs. Toronto estimated savings up to $30 million a year.
Wow. So it's good for the planet, good for people, good for the economy.
Pretty much sums it up. But it's also clear that how we approach waste varies hugely around the world. We looked at insights from people doing a zero-waste challenge on different continents, and the disparity is stark. High-income countries, right? About 16% of the global population. But we generate 34% of the world's waste.
Oof, that's disproportionate.
Very. And globally, waste is projected to double by 2050 if we don't change course. Double.
That's a terrifying thought. Let's talk about those regional differences you found. They sound fascinating.
They really are. So take Europe, say London or Italy. Awareness of climate change as a major public issue is relatively recent, maybe gaining traction the last few years. This is a big topic. But historically, there's often a deeper, maybe less explicit respect for the environment embedded in the culture. Italy actually produces a bit more waste per person than the UK, but that underlying value is offered there.
Interesting. And Africa, you mentioned Nigeria.
Yeah, Lagos, Nigeria. There you see high awareness of climate impacts like erosion, deforestation, things they experience directly. But what's really striking is how many Nigerians already live quite sustainably, almost naturally, managing resources carefully, very little wastage. They're incredibly resourceful. It's like finding ways to reuse plastics for other things.
So it's less of a challenge and more just life.
In many ways, yes. The average Nigerian creates far less solid waste than the global average, let alone compared to high-income nations.
Okay, contrast that with the U.S. then. Washington, D.C., for example.
Yeah. Right. Much higher waste levels. You mentioned the 2.4 kilograms per person per day, almost 5 times Nigeria's rate. There's definitely awareness about sustainability issues, but sometimes individual actions can feel like a drop in the ocean. Still, many people feel making those changes is important for shifting their own mindset, even if the scale feels small initially.
And China, Beijing, Tianjin.
There's growing awareness there too, but maybe needing more consistent focus beyond big events like Earth Hour. What's interesting is the generational aspect. Older generations often have a deeply ingrained value of avoiding waste, linking saving energy directly to saving money, often stemming from experiences of past poverty or scarcity.
Like that soup example you mentioned.
Exactly. Drinking the soup first at a restaurant because you can take leftover dishes home, but leftover soup just gets thrown out. It's a small thing. but it shows a real consciousness about not wasting.
It really highlights how much our habits are shaped by culture and circumstance.
Absolutely. And it underscores that for many in high-income countries, the big hurdle isn't just needing new technology. It's overcoming ingrained habits of convenience and disposability.
Hmm.
We need that circular mindset, thinking about how to add value back, not just use and toss.
So how do we start building that mindset, shifting those habits? These challenges seem like a good way in, one intentional change a day.
Yeah, that's the core idea. Fostering awareness, especially around plastic, and building new muscle memory, essentially. We pulled together some common actions from various 30-day guides just to give a flavor.
Okay, like what?
Well, it often starts really simply. Day 1, audit your waste. Just, actually look at what you're throwing out. It can be eye-opening.
I bet.
Then you move to foundational things. Day 2, get a reusable water bottle and use it. Day 3, remember your reusable bags. Basic stuff, but crucial.
Right, building blocks.
Then it branches out. Maybe day 4, say no to plastic straws or use a reusable one if you need it. Day 6, look at your bathroom. Bamboo toothbrush, bar soap instead of liquid and plastic, reusable makeup wipes.
Oh, the bathroom. So much hidden plastic there.
Tons of it. Then maybe broader things like day 7, walk or bike instead of driving short trips. Or day 11, try going meatless for a day or more that has a big environmental footprint.
And practical skills, too. You mentioned fixing things.
Yes. Day 9, fix, don't replace. Patch a bike tire, darn a sock, glue a kid's toy, keep stuff out of landfill. Or day 15, DIY cleaners. Vinegar, baking soda, essential oils. Way cheaper, less toxic, reusable bottles.
That sounds empowering, actually.
It can be. And it extends beyond your home, too. Day 19, clean up your neighborhood. Picking up litter really makes you see the problem firsthand. Or day 20, share and borrow. Need a muffin tin for one recipe, ask a neighbor instead of buying one.
Right. Community connection again.
And finally, day 24, spread the word. Talk about what you're doing, inspire someone else, teach kids. It multiplies the effect.
That's a great range of actions. We'll definitely put a link to a more comprehensive list in the show notes for anyone interested.
Good idea. But it's also important to be realistic. People run into obstacles, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, what if you don't have a fancy bulk store nearby?
Right. You start where you can. Reuse jars you already have for things like pasta or rice. Hit up the farmer's market, often less packaging there. Choose cardboard over plastic when possible. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good.
Good advice. What about the cost? People sometimes think zero waste is expensive.
That's a common misconception. Initially, maybe buying some reusable containers costs a bit, but many habits save money long term. Buying less stuff, reusing things, making your own cleaners, reducing food waste, that all adds up financially.
True. And motivation, sticking with it for 30 days can be tough.
Yeah, finding community helps. Join an online group, start a challenge with friends, share your small wins on social media, accountability buddies.
Totally. And some pro tips for anyone trying this. My favorite is focus on progress, not guilt.
Absolute key. Don't beat yourself up if you forget your reusable bag one day. Just try again tomorrow.
And maybe use a tracker or calendar.
Yeah.
Log what you're doing, share your wins. It helps stay motivated.
Document what works for you. Skip what doesn't feel right. And if a challenge just isn't feasible where you live or with your lifestyle, it's okay to acknowledge that. Understanding the barriers is important too.
Right. Maybe substitute it with something else or go deeper on a previous day's challenge that resonated.
Exactly. It's about finding what works for you. You're
Okay.
connecting this back. Zero waste isn't really about restriction. It's about making more mindful choices. It's about aligning your actions with your values, supporting businesses doing the right thing, and ultimately enriching your life, not limiting it.
That's a great way to put it. So you've just taken this deep dive with us into the world of zero waste. We really hope it sparked some thoughts, maybe some ideas. Remember, even committing to small, intentional changes makes a difference. It adds up in the fight against plastic pollution and helps build healthier habits for you and, well, for the planet.
And maybe the ultimate goal to keep in mind isn't just about us reducing our personal trash today, though that's vital. It's about pushing for that fundamental redesign of our systems, our products, moving away from that linear take-make-waste model.
Towards a truly circular one.
Exactly. Where everything is designed to be a resource, where waste is ideally designed out of the system altogether. Just imagine, what would it look like if pretty much every product you touched was designed to be endlessly reused or safely returned to nature?
That is a powerful vision to work towards. So the question for you listening is, what's one small intentional step you might take next on this journey?